Hey everyone, it's John Moncrief and welcome to this episode. So today I want to talk about the 5 secrets of growing your business. And for some of you, these are not going to be so much secrets as something pretty obvious. The challenge here, and the reason I'm calling them the 5 secrets to growing your business, is that not many of us actually get on and focus on them and actually do these things. So it's that time of the year where you bring everybody around the table and you say, come on, let's come up with the plan for next year. Let's put together the strategy. Maybe you do this at the end of every financial year. Maybe you do this when something happens in the business and you need to bring everybody together and make a big change. But you get everyone together, you sit around the table and you do all this work to figure out where you're going and what your strategy is. But there's 5 things that I'm seeing that are missing in these sessions, that are missing after these sessions. Teams get together. There's a lot of talking that's done. There's a lot of great work that's done. And I know these sessions aren't hard. They're tough. It takes a lot of energy. You've got folks around the table who maybe aren't contributing and aren't getting involved. But I think some of this can make them a hell of a lot easier. And I want to encourage you to walk away and to think about these as you're going into your strategy planning in the year ahead. So as you're thinking about where you're going, take these 5 secrets and really apply them to make a difference to what you're trying to achieve in terms of your longer term goals. So the first thing is your vision. Most of us start off business, we have this wonderful vision, and those visions are great. You can take that vision and you can turn that dream into a reality. The problem is you're not articulating that vision. It's in your head. You aren't writing the vision down. You aren't communicating that vision with your team. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to block out time to sit down and to write out your vision. What is the purpose of your business? Where are you going in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Why do you exist as a business? And this doesn't have to be complicated. It can kind of fill a page and a half or so. I'll add a tool. If you haven't got a piece of paper, you can download and print out the vision tool and just sit down. But what you need to do is sit down for 45 minutes, an hour, and you need to write down your vision. And then once you've written it down, share it with your leadership team, share it with your co-founders, share it with your shareholders. Tell them that this is what your business is about. Tell them this is where it's going. And share that sense of purpose about why you created the business. So that's number 1, vision. Get your vision down, get it on the paper, do it now. Next one is strategy. So a lot of the sessions revolve around strategy. The challenge is that the vision doesn't always exist or isn't all that crystal. Isn't all that crystal clear. So when you get into the room, a lot of time is spent kind of figuring out what the vision is. Then you get into the strategy part and you start building out a strategy. And the problem is that there's a whole lot of bits and pieces that are left out of the strategy. And if you think about it in terms of like, if you're going on a mission to Mars, you'd kind of think about what needs to be done now, what needs to be done in the next few years, what the strategy is to get a team from the Earth to land on Mars. So your business is the same thing. You have this vision, you know where you want to go, and you need to have a strategy to get from where you are now to that future point. What very often happens with a strategy is that we put up everything on the whiteboard and the charts, and I'm sure we take it down afterwards, but it's not tied to real timelines. There isn't accountability. There's no focus on core goals in the short term and what we need to overcome in the next quarter, for example. So when you're thinking about your strategy, think about what the success factors look like 5 years from now and what needs to be done to get you there. So what are those top 5 things that need to happen to get you where you want to go in 5 years, or whatever that is, 3 years, 5 years. Similarly with 3 years, what do we need to do to get there in 3 years? What needs to change in the business? What's going to get us there? What are the big things that we need to change? And then take it down to a year and break the year into quarters. And what are the things that are going to get us that we absolutely have to get done this quarter to move the needle for a year, for 3 years, for 5 years, for 10 years? So what are the things that we've got to do right now, this quarter? And it's only 3 to 5 things for each member of your leadership team. Too many things, they're just not going to get done. What are the 3 to 5 things that each of us and our teams as leadership team need to get done to move the needle to get us to where we want to go in the next 5 to 10 years? What are the things that we need to get done to get us onto Mars? And you may only get 80, 90% of those things done each quarter, but imagine how much you can move the needle by getting 80, 90% done every single quarter. Focus on where you want to be in the future. So, once you've got your vision and your strategy sorted out, the next thing is you need the right people in the right roles. Folks who've got you here, unfortunately, aren't going to get you to the next level. You need to find people that can help go from where you are now to where you want to go. And I see this so often, and I had it in my own business. You've got to a place and you keep bumping your head. And obviously your vision and strategy play into that. But having a team of people who can take you from where you are right now into the future is critical. So I would suggest, what you do is you take a look at your organizational structure, and you have your visionary, who's typically your CEO, CIO, your CEO, somebody who integrates the whole team together. The EOS system, which I'll get to in a moment, refers to this as an integrator. It's your COO, your MD, somebody who ties the rest of the structure together, who can translate that vision into what really needs to get done, and is focused on getting things done. And then you've got sales and marketing, you've got finance, and you've got operations, and everything underneath it. Define all the roles and the team that you're going to need to get to Mars. So who are the people that we're going to need to go from here to there? Are they the right people? Do they want the role that they're going to be in? Have they got the skills and the experience to deliver on the responsibilities and to get you to where you need to go? So, get your organizational structure on a paper, look at the roles, make sure you know what each role's responsibility needs to be, top 5 responsibilities, and then look at who you've got at the moment, who can fit that role, who wants that role, and then think about where you need to go out and fill that role. And think of this as a mission to Mars. It's going to take huge effort to get your business to where you want to go, I imagine. So you want to make sure that you have absolute best people on that mission to Mars. If something goes wrong on the spaceship, on your shuttle, you don't want somebody who's going to panic, who doesn't have the experience to fix something. Somebody who's going to be psychologically not ready to go to the next level. All of those kind of things. What's your culture like, and how do those people fit into your culture, and are they the right people? So, vision, strategy, people. Next, systems. There are so many businesses that I work with that just do not have any kind of systems. And when I talk about systems, I'm talking about everything from how we run a meeting so that meeting's successful, to the processes and the procedures for doing certain things, paying accounts, ordering something, dealing with a customer situation, all of those kind of processes and procedures that you need in place. And there's no excuse here. There's so many great systems that you can implement in your business. The Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS, there'll be a link below. Scaling Up from the Gazelles team, there'll be a link below. I've worked with both systems, and they are fantastic for entrepreneurs wanting to grow their businesses and go to the next level. So if you need a system, take a look at one of these, get it in place. It's going to make all the difference in terms of getting you from where you are now to going where you want to go. You think about your mission to Mars again. If you haven't got a life support system, you aren't going to make it very far. If your navigation systems aren't working, you're not going to land up on Mars. All of those kind of systems that you absolutely need to have in that rocket, your business, get them in place now. Make that one of your top priorities on your strategy. Get the right people into the right roles to get the systems in places, and you at least sort of have taken a giant step in the right direction. Number 5, final one, the most important, or maybe not the most important one, but I think all of these are equally important. But execution. At the end of the day, this can't just turn into another piece of paper that gets shelved, or another strategy that goes onto the bookshelf or into a file, an electronic file. You've got to get this done to get to the next level. You've got to want to do this. So you have your flight plan, your strategy, it's mapped out. And when you think about a flight plan, you kind of get in and you take off, and whether you're going to Mars or taking a short flight, if you've ever flown a plane or been in a little aircraft, if you're flying on visual rules, you got to fly that far at that speed for kind of that period of time, and you look out for a marker, for a dam, a road, for something along the way. And at that point, you change direction slightly and you fly for another X amount of time at that speed in that direction, and you look for your next marker. Execution's the same thing. Here's our plan. Here are the markers. Let's start flying. And every single quarter, every single week, we're checking, hey, have we hit that target? Can we start turning that and adjusting that and going in that direction? So this execution part is critical, and putting systems in place are going to help you to get that execution right. So, vision, strategy, people, systems, execution. Think about those 5 key things as you're going through your planning sessions, as you're getting ready for this new year, this new decade. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Put your thoughts into the comments. I'd love to engage with you. These episodes are about you, and every week I tackle a challenge that I'm seeing. So if you've got something you want me to talk about, you want to hear about, add it to the comments. Happy to pick up on those questions. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.